People are very noticeable of things and they wonder why I sit. One real reason is I want to be this a time of shared reflection and be very clear. It's not me standing on high telling people what to do. Today marks the end of another church year. And what we do here every Sunday is not about me or you, but us together. And more than that, it is about being church, part of the church of the world, the universal church. And on this day, the end of the year, I think that we want to take a stance that is thankful. So the first thing I'd like to say is thank you. Thank you to all of you for the ministries you exercise, and we all exercise a ministry in coming together. For the liturgy is about full participation and participation of all the faithful of God coming together. Thank you for being great ministers during the year. On a personal note, I thank you for being kind to me, to be understanding and patient, especially of a 69-year-old Aussie who's rather direct speaking and can be rough and tumble in his ways. But we all talk about culture. That speaks of me and my culture and where I come from. So never take me too personally. I hope I'm also kind in return. I thank you very much. I thank you for your patience and understanding. And some of you know that I have a bad knee, and just so you know, I'm going to get it fixed. And as I join you with my knee, and I'm more than my knee, I'm more than conscious of the frailty that is human life, of the reality that we live, and that we do the best in the reality that we live, and we do it best when we are together. If I look at the year that has been, one thing that stands out for me and I wish to share, it's a reflection by a Myanmar writer and artist who visited Mandalay after it had suffered the brutality and the tragedy of the earthquake on the 28th of March, which I think we all remember if we were here. Mandalay was devastated. And this was his reflection on Mandalay as he experienced it soon after the earthquake. He shares, "The city was physically broken and the people seemed emotionally numb. Looking at their faces, I couldn't sense much feeling, neither sorrow nor relief. I kept wishing to see emotion in people again, any kind of emotion, sadness, joy, even anger, because perhaps what is most haunting isn't the destruction itself, but the emptiness it leaves behind, the absence of feeling." At the end of the year, of a church year, where are we? Hopefully, wherever we are, we stand with a sense of thankfulness and thanksgiving, being thankful to God and to each other and those who share our lives. But where do we stand at the end of the year? Where have we been this past year, physically, mentally, spiritually? Have we engaged our world, or have we run away? Have we engaged ourselves or others who share our lives, or have we hidden behind the smartphone, bad habits, routines, whatever they may be? Have we been leaders throughout the year? Leaders to ourselves, leaders in our community, leaders looking after our brothers, our sisters, our planet. And as we look back where we have been in the past year, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, as we look at where we are today, are we simply happy with where we find ourselves? I hope we know a sense of happiness, but I also hope that we have a sense of being challenged to move forward in faith, challenged to take the next step that we all need to take, not just as individual persons, but as a community of faith and as a church, and meeting that challenge. That we don't hide in the comforts of feeling assured in our faith for ourselves, or maybe feeling comfort in the sense that stop us from having to face who we truly are called to be as persons or as a community. So as we face a new year in the church, let us ask ourselves, where do we wish to be physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually? And not just as a personal journey, but a journey in faith, a journey that is shared in faith as church, a journey that is constructed upon the pathways of the gospel that calls us to be builders of the kingdom of God here and now. Are we faithful builders of that kingdom? Or do we stand back in fear, stand back in complacency, stand back in a sense of assuredness, I've done it all, I don't need to do more, or they can do it? Where are we in that journey of faith as pilgrims of hope in this holy year? And so is our desire, so is our commitment, not maybe to seek simply happiness, but to seek the joy of faithfulness, the joy of the gospel. Is it our desire, our commitment to face the challenges, to engage our world, to engage ourselves, to engage our planet, to engage our brothers and sisters in deeper and new ways, in ways that take us beyond than we could ever imagine? For those ways speak of following the vision of God, building his kingdom, of being people, a community of the gospel. And so will we be, not just alone, but together as church, be true leaders to our world, showing the way for all humanity, a vision, a way, that together we are all pilgrims of hope, looking for the more, the better, and the deeper for the sake of all, led by a God who is with us, a God who loves us, a God who challenges us and comforts us, a God who shares his vision. And if we look and reflect upon where we have been, where we are, and where we go, maybe the words of the Latin American church as it gathered in conference in a place in Brazil, Aparecida, in 2007, where they wrote a document that was a living document and that led to Pope Francis that led to his encyclical, Gaudium Evangelium, and that led to the present synod, maybe we go back to the source of all that and look to its guiding principle. And I offer that the principle of the Latin American Church nearly 20 years ago may be the guiding principle for us as people of faith, a community of faith, and as a church. And very simply they wrote, "We have no other treasure, no other priority, but to be instruments of the Spirit, so that Jesus Christ may be known, followed, loved, adored, announced, and communicated to all." It is that simple, it is that deep, and it is that call and challenges that takes us to where we're being, where we are, and where we go. And so let us stand and profess together with great